worth using. I've gone for the 7x7 to get that lovely white space in the background.
Okay.
Right, so that's where that comes from. Thank you, Yanis.
That's okay.
And what I'm going to show you now, right, Waimea Falls.
Yeah.
Let's check. I'm using this beautiful Waimea Falls.
Beautiful colour.
Right, so this is really lovely. You can use the flat side, the matte side, or you can use the glossy side as a layer in the background. Then we're going to take our, again, I'm not going to say I'm a one-trick pony because that would be ridiculous. But what I do is I use the same things over and over again.
You know what you like.
And I've got a palette. I've got my brushes, I've got my card, I've got my doodle dies, I've got my parchment, I've got my designer paper. I don't use loads and loads and loads of stash because there's a financial.
Yeah.
You know, if I use it, then.
But you want to make sure that when
I
you're investing, you use it.
Yeah. So the doodle dies that we were looking at earlier, this is that other beautiful. See, I think that looks so classy. What else do you need?
I mean, it does look
You know, when you look at that, and it fits in there beautifully.
We're all familiar, or most crafts are familiar with matting and layering. But when you mat and layer with the designer, whether it's parchment or papers or companion papers, just elevates it. It's
so
just
nice.
Beautiful.
So nice. So let's go to a piece of white card. We're going to start in the middle and we'll work our way out. We've deconstructed it now, so we know what we need. So this is one of those little 3.5 by 3.5s. I'm going to take my stamp, archival black.
Okay.
How are you anyway?
I'm good. Yeah. Well, I had last week, unfortunately, I was ill. I caught a cold.
Did you?
Which wasn't fun, but the whole family came down with it. Now, it's one thing being ill, but it's another thing being ill and then having to look after a poorly 2-year-old as well. Because you've no rest. There's no, I'll just go to bed and relax. None of that.
No. They're grumpy as well, aren't they, when they're not well?
Yeah. We're all good. We're all good.
Good. I'm glad. So what we've got now is we're just applying a bit of pressure and we're putting the line art stamp down. And then, if you like, you can burnish the back just to make sure that you get a good impression. And then we'll lift that off and we've got our lovely stamped image.
That already is beautiful. What I love, if it looks that good from just stamping down, happy, we can leave it there. Equally, if you want to start now doing techniques, so we've obviously, because it's a two-way overlay, so we can introduce colours, we can go in with our pencils, our alcohol markers.
Exactly. The world's your oyster now, if you like colouring. Pan out a little tiny bit, Chris, because I want to show you, if you start to batch make, right, then you get, this is it. So you get your pack, you get your 3 stamps, you mount them on their 4x4s or your stamping platform, and then you get your basing.
Wonderful little nodelets.
And everyone's a winner. So you start to stamp them out, and then you can start to introduce your centres.
It looks so good like that.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so there you go. You've already got you're building your, they call them toppers. I would prefer to call it a centrepiece.
Yeah.
Right? So
that's nice. I like that.
We'll call them as centrepieces. And so we've got our centrepiece. That's that. And now we're going to use the second stamp. This is that full surface stamp or the silhouette stamp, which will give us this. It gives us that.
So it's like positive and negative.
Positive and negative.
Oh, how pretty.
Isn't that pretty? So what we're going to do now is take our stamp, and I'll take a couple of colours, and we'll just distress oxides. Okay.
Just conscious, we've only got one more hour, live hour with Barbara at 2 o'clock. We're approaching 40% of the stock for the one-day special. That's the extended delivery that we were very fortunate that Clarity have labelled us to get, because you're all made in-house. You've been fully within your rights to say, look, guys, you've taken it all from us now. We have to stop there. So thank you for that extended delivery.
You're very welcome. I think... If the TV's good enough to give us 4 hours of airtime, then we should at least have enough stock to keep going. So, and if you can, you should, and we can. So let's have a look. What I've done here is I've just taken 2 distress oxides, spiced marmalade and peacock feathers, and I've put them down on here.
Colours.
Right, now, enter the speedball brayer. All right, so let's have a look. I've got a speedball brayer. I keep it in my box.
You can buy this. Now, you are the queen of the brayers.
Well, I've been... you could have there was a time in my life you could have grafted it into my hand. Everything I did, I had a brayer in my hand. I love it. It's a familiar, it's a very comfortable thing. The speedball brayer, again, they come from the States, very difficult to get hold of, really expensive now. but they're worth every penny. They're detachable, they're washable, they're a soft rubber, 4-inch. They pretty much do everything you need it to do.
Yeah.
This is a clean one.
This is your 4-inch, and this is something you're going to use time and time again.
Yeah.
Good size on that. $17.99 your price. 596002 your item number.
I used the black one
Yeah.
when I did the black ink. Because it's a permanent ink, it stains it.
Okay.
So that's that. But it's all right.
Still works.
It's poor does, yeah. And I do a lot of black work, so that's that brayer now.
Yeah, nice.
Don't ask me how many brayers I've got. Right, so what we're going to do now is just spread the ink this way. So we're distributing the ink. You can see how we're doing this. It's a really easy way. And then what we'll do is we'll turn it. See? Or we can go this way and then that way to get an ombre, because what I'm doing now is I'm pushing the turquoise or the teal into the orange and the orange into the teal. Very Japanese colours, aren't they?
Speaking of inks, as we're watching Barbara do this, I've got to give you a reminder of the alcohol inks, obviously different ink to what we're using here. We're really lucky to have get hold of these from Clarity. If you want to buy them, they've been immensely busy all hour. We're starting to lose options. My advice, get onto the website, have a look. You have got a club price on these, but they're really good and hard. They're hard to get hold of now, Barbara.
What, the alcohol inks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like hen's teeth.
Yeah.
So now I've also got a little bit of ink on my brayer. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
So I take one of my little bits of card, and now I've done a wheelie. It's the old famous wheelie. What you do is you get up on the edge and you roll the wheelie on a bit of copy paper, so you haven't got a line, because then you have a stripe. And then what we're going to do...
That's a good tip, Barbara. That's a great tip, because I would have made that mistake.
You get a stripe, and then you got a stripe.
Yeah.
So now, let's see. If I start at this end, and I start brayering, and now I'm starting to move in, watch it change colour as I go. Look. And what you end up with is a really lovely airbrushed... You see?
It does look airbrush.
And because the turquoise, it was the driving colour was the turquoise, and then as the yellow started moving into the turquoise, you got this lovely green meadowy colour.
That's exactly what I was going to say. You've created a meadow.
Yeah. There you go.
But like I say, it looks airbrush.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So now we'll take this one. Oh, that's a nice background now.
Lovely background. I'll go a step further. If you have maybe some rice papers or other papers, create your own background so you're not losing any of this ink. So have that as a working platform and then go on to use that, die cut it.
And I'll tell you something else. If you are a parcher, because there are parchers watching now thinking, do I want to get into stamping? You do.
Yeah.
If you've got a brayer and you've got these colours and you've got plain parchment, you can roll that on your plain parchment and you get the most beautiful effects. That's how you stain your parchment, on the back.
Your enthusiasm is contagious, because just working with you, every time I work with you, I come away thinking, I want to try this, I want to do that, I want to have a go at this.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Oh, yeah.
So now what we can do, we've got choices. Excuse my head if it gets in the way, because I'm going to lean over and I'm looking to see that I can overlay it. Now, if I wanted, I could also do a little drop shadow, but I think we'll just stick to the plan. With my varifocals, we'll probably get a drop shadow anyway.
Okay.
Drop shadow being that lovely little...
I think you've done well with that one.
Let's have a look what
I've got a good feeling.
Lift it up, burnish the back,
Okay.
see what we get.
Oh, come on.
Drop shadow, perfect.
Look at that.
Isn't it nice?
So, okay, we have just introduced colour beautifully. So if you're someone a little bit intimidated about colour, look at what we've done. Look at the blend Barbara's achieved. And that's just literally by putting some ink onto our stamps and overlaying. Anyone can do this.
And you know that eraser that we took at the beginning and we used on the parchment?
Bundle, yeah.
So say I want to throw a little bit of light onto this. I can take this and I can take the white eraser pencil, and if I want to, I can add shadow now, look.
Oh, nice.
So it's coming, I can take it out again, look.
Yeah.
So if I want to add, look, see what I'm doing? So it looks like a highlight. I hope that you can get this on the temp. Yeah. So, for example, on the butterfly, let's say I want to make a yellow butterfly. Maybe I want to make the body white. What I'm saying is that the eraser, it takes the stain out of the paper as well as the parchment.
Would you say that green is a good colour to go on the 3.5 by 3.5 stencil card? Green a good colour for it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so, because it complements the fact that we've got green on the screen for our 3.5 by 3.5.
Where are you going with this?
As I was planned. So, with the stencil card, joking aside, we are limited stock now. We've got less than 10% of the stock remaining. If it does sell out, don't